We've actually been working with these planting robots, but not in a human shape. So it's still more like the big machine, semi-big machine things. And so the first talk today I will have, it's a part of this big AutoPlan project that we have been running for 2 years in a big collaborative group. So this is about a decision support tool for operational planning of forest regeneration measures. It could be for scarifiers or planting machines and so on. And I've done this, of course, with several colleagues, as you can see. Yeah, so this AutoPlan project, it has a lot of different parts, and I will tell you more about that later. But now we are going to focus on the global plan that's needed. So this autonomous machine now, how to drive on the clear cut. And then it is together, of course, with a local plan that could avoid obstacles on more a smaller scale level. To do this, we wanted to address several aims. So we wanted to develop a decision support tool for operational planning of regeneration measures, of course, and it should be both for planting and or soil scarification machines. And by this, we would also facilitate autonomous or teleoperated driving by providing this plan. And we also wanted to get better estimations of the number of plants to order and which species to plant where, the net area to operate, because the entrepreneurs doing the soil scarification today, they usually get very rough estimates of the area to operate. Then maybe it's like 50% of the area that they can actually work on. And also like time consumption and so on. And we wanted to make sure that no-go areas, tree groups, and too wet or too dry areas were excluded from treatment. And this tool, Pathfinder, it needs input data, of course, and then it does optimization, and it will provide a global plan. But that global plan at the moment is not very detailed. It's more like the direction of how to drive and where to turn and so on. It's not like very precise, but we're working on that as well. And it could provide an example of that is a continuous route. So you get the plants to the machine, or it could go back and collect new plants. So you have these two different outputs. So what you get is a GNSS route of how to drive and where to site prepare or to plant or not. So it's just driving, but not preparing, so to say. Yeah, and the input data needed, it's the harvester production files, HPR files, as we call them. And from that, we get object borders, left groups of trees, and also some kind of optimal tree species in different areas. And it will also provide a planting density suggestion. But this planting density, I would say, is now what you will see, the numbers is adapted to like what the forest company wants. So it's quite high numbers, but that of course you can adjust if you want lower numbers, so on. And we also use depth to water maps to exclude too wet or too dry, and digital elevation models as well, and soil types map as well for optimized species selection. And from the machine, we need working speed and width, and time for different kind of sharp turns, like U-turns or bigger turns, and also critical slope in like so if it can drive in sideways or just up and down, and number of plants in a load. And we also include the no-go areas. So actually the first part of this tool is already an old Skogforsk tool that is called plantbeställning, which is plant or seedling ordering or something like that. And it's based, as I said, on the harvester production data. and also the digital elevation model and the depth of water map and soil type. So, and this example you see is from the site outside the Brekke. It's SCA who owns where we did our final field test in the water plann project. So here is the suggestion from the plant seedling ordering part, and you can see the areas that are too wet for site preparation in blue that are excluded, and the suggestion of number of seedlings per hectare, and also what is suggested as spruce and pine. And you get the net area and the total number of seedlings. And then we feed this into the part 2 of this Pathfinder tool, which is the shape file with the net area and the number of plants. And if the density is different, it can handle that as well. And here we have 5 meters between the roots and a capacity of 1,500 seedlings and a minimum turning radius of 4.6 meters. And then we need the digital elevation model again. Then we have, you can put any threshold actually, but for this we used 15 degrees, which is 26.8%. As areas where the slope is have to decide which way you're going, so to say. So we divide the whole area in hexagon with the it's 10 meters between the sides, and then you see this is quite a flat area actually. So it's just some small areas that are too steep. So I will show you another example later with more slope. And then here is an example of a continuous route, which minimize U-turns. So you want long driving directions and so on. And if it's just 1 or 2 steep areas, it's probably not a slope. So then you just avoid it by going around. Yeah, so I'll show you another example to show you the different steps in this routing tool. So here is a site from Holmen, 8.4 hectare, and it's spruce, mostly spruce and a bit pine. I will see also for the first part of this tool, the plantbeställning, it has actually been validated that the too wet and too dry areas in 7,000 plots. So which is if it's suitable for site preparation or not. So that part is built on quite a lot of research. And here you see a no-go area. You see a passage. I don't know. Over there, it's where to go between the different parts. So on. And the first step, then the direction of every hexagon is, and you can see the areas of critical slope with the red arrows. And then in the next step, they the tool is trained to get as much as same directions as possible. So where it's not critical slope, they aligned so you get the longest routes without turning. And then it's aggregating these directions into bigger areas and also the direction of those bigger areas. And then you just put as many lines as possible in that direction, and also a point grid of 1 meter just to know that you have the whole area to be treated, covered. And then it used the tradesman sale problem to see that all points are covered and that you get lines or paths in this direction, and to connect all the ends, so you have continuous route. And then you can solve this. You can have this different. You have the vehicle routing problem. We have one continuous route, and it's not so easy to see here. But it's not only doing U-turns here. It's taking bigger rounds to avoid the very sharp turns. And in the other one, it's when you have the capacity of 1,500 plants, then you see the routes in different colors. Yeah, and we're almost there with the results. I hope to be a bit longer today, but we tested the tool on 11 clear cuts throughout Sweden with different forest owners. Yeah, we could compare it with a tree species selection, plant density of what the actual company have chosen on that site. So there have been like field excursions and so on to do that in this other project. And then we also are planning, we will compare the distance and time for machine operated with the manual solutions. So we will ask some operators to suggest the direction they want to drive in different areas, given these basic maps. And then we'll calculate like the driving time and distance with that and compare it to the output of the tool. So that was the result I hope to show you today, but it's not ready. But what we've seen this far, it's promising results, but we need to evaluate it better. Yeah, I'm finished there.